I'll go back just because I want to know your origin story. You talk about growing up in St. Louis. There's a couple of things about people I think who are from the Midwest that they have a general, just a goodness about them, right? It's not for everybody. It's not
Yeah.
across the board. But tell me how you grew up and how you started to make people laugh.
Yeah, grew up single parent household. My mother was a school teacher. I got a younger sister who's 3 years younger than me. She's actually a professor at Pepperdine now, so that gene stayed alive. I was I did go to college and got a degree, but I was not a good student. I was one of the people like, you graduated? I was like, yeah, I graduated. You did? Yeah, man. I did. Like I got out of school. Okay. All right. But it was really, it was one of those. She was just, my mom was a very, uh, she strived for big things, big ideas. Wanted to, the kind of person that made sure we dressed nice and looked nice and presentable. And I think that, gave an aspirational kind of lifestyle. We traveled. We did, for somebody that was a single mom on one salary, she made our life feel like, matter of fact, people used to think we were rich. They would call us rich. And I was like, we're not rich, so it was just, how people know how to take a little something and make it look big. And that was her way. So I think, that definitely inspired, the attitude of just going out in life and believing you can, achieve things. And so that's the attitude I always kind of took with it, man.
I think
and
that
being the only dude in the household too, right? You got to kind of be a man, like young. So that was the other thing, like having that innate desire to be somebody that my mom didn't have to like always be working for. I can be working with her.
I love that. How do you think that translated into you ultimately, like, because I hear you say you went to school. That's not uncommon. And I could easily tell you graduated because of your observational humor. I think you're smart. I noticed. And how do you think that like plays into who you are today, having just watching your mom by herself?
I think it's definitely, born and leads for me, like, try to be what I consider, a person that operates in the world with a degree of joy, like the kind of person that wants to be, look at life for the glass being half full as opposed to half empty. I'm very optimistic. I'm very hopeful. I like the idea of good times when I'm meeting people. I'm not really about toxic energy. So I try to create that in my space. And if that doesn't work if that's not in my space, then I just move on. So I'm not really one that you ever hear about me in beefs and staticking with folks and nonsense. So because I just don't really operate in that world. I just kind of I do me. I'm real comfortable about doing that. I don't have to be the biggest star in the room, but I just know when I come in, people going like, yo, you are who you are, and that's dope. And I take great pride in that. And I think that's the way my mom was. Like she just kind of lived life in this very cool zone. She loved to laugh. She liked a good time. She liked to do nice things, and she'd be on her way. She'd be, she ain't there for the bullshit, how they say it.
Yeah, that's right. I like it. So when did you realize, was it in college or beforehand that you would take on the profession of making people laugh for a living?
It was actually after college. I did, I entertained while I was in college. I had a radio show. I had a little TV show. Cable was new, so I was like studying broadcast. So I had a show that was kind of like a Saturday Night Live-esque thing. We did sketches, and that was in college that we aired it. It was great. And then I had a radio show where I did like a quiet storm kind of thing and talk to people at night. And college, you young and love people calling in, talking to me. I'm, giving game, playing records, that was real cool. And then, and I was sing like in talent shows. That was kind of my favorite big thing at the time. I was kind of known as a singer, like in college and high school, and didn't really know I could do comedy. I was funny. Like I was the lunchroom dude, like, both in college and in high school where, the dozens where, like they'd be like, "I'll wait to see it come down here. Y'all don't want no smoke." And, but I wasn't a class clown. So it was like these things that I would just save it up to whenever I can be with my boys, and that's when I like smash out on people. So I didn't really know I could do comedy until after I graduated from school, when it became a little bit more prevalent. The late great Robin Harris was this comedian that, to me, he didn't look like a superstar, if you say, he looked like my uncle, cousin. Yeah, he was the funniest dude in the room, and he started to gain a lot of popularity. And that's when I recognized, like, oh, I'm that brand of comedy. You don't have to be Eddie Murphy, already sharp, already, suited up, looking like a superstar. You can just be a dude, and you walk on stage and kill it now. So that's what really motivated me to start doing comedy. I was working at State Farm at the time.
You were selling insurance?
I was the original Jake. I was a claims adjuster.
You was the original. Wait a second, Ced.
Come on, man. Like with the khakis, the shirt.
Where is the commercial with you doing State Farm? Did I miss that? Because this is a missed opportunity for them not to say, this is what happens if you work here. You could literally be this person.
Yeah, no doubt. We've been trying to pull this one off for a while. They had that. Kevin Hart told me the same thing. He's like, yo, man, they tripping. Like, they don't have you doing State Farm commercials. I was like, they have not. We tried to, talk about it a couple of times, but we never closed the deal. So,
well, I'm making a note of that, and I literally need that fixed. I need you to be in the State Farm commercial ASAP. So then my other question would be, if I look at Robin Harris, and I'm not as familiar, but I know who he is. Can you tell me, watching him, and yes, you're right, his brand of humor, I still feel like you're a little more polished than him.
Oh, for sure. But he just, because he talked really fast, and he was very, very, very hood uncle. Look at you, you know what I'm saying? You kind of almost remind you of Bernie Mac, like his delivery and everything. Mm-hmm. But he was funny, like that kind of like personal funny, like where you just kind of saying things that feel like an uncle talking, like a cousin talking. And I was like, that's kind of the delivery I want. Like, I want to be able to not, have these formulaic jokes. I just kind of go up and like, yo, you ever go to a ghetto wedding? And boom, boom, like literally say things that I see and be like, oh, now you dying. And I was like, he was the first one I saw really do it that way.